Okay, hi, welcome everyone. Just gonna hit record. Make sure I've let everyone in that wanted to come in. Okay, good afternoon and welcome everyone. This afternoon's call, my name is Beth Reel and I'm the co-executive director at the Connecticut Parent Advocacy Center. And we have invited Ruth Carvalho here today to talk about Level Up services through the Bureau of Rehab Services and the Department of Aging and Disability. Did I get it right? It is, right? Yeah, they changed the name not all that long ago. So welcome, Ruth. And so Ruth is going to talk a little bit about the Level Up program, and then we'll open it up to questions if anybody has any questions for her as we go along. So thanks, Ruth. Take it away.
Hi, everyone. Beth just said, my name is Ruth Carvalho. I am currently serving as the Level Up Supervisor for the state of Connecticut through the Department of Aging and Disability Services. The Level Up program has been in existence this is about the 5th year currently. I was a Level Up counselor the entire time it was there, created, and it was developed to assist students with an IEP or 504 plan with pre-employment skills training services is what we've set up. Now, in order to engage in Level Up, you have to be a student in high school who gets one of those services, either an IEP or 504 connected. It's usually students between the ages of 16 to 21. I don't like harping on the age because there's so many different. Age doesn't tell us what grade or where the student is at. So I like to say where the student is. Is he in high school? Is he or she in an 18 to 21 program? And that's how we determine who can engage and at what levels they can engage in. So that's a really basic definition of who can engage. And it's that simple, actually. If your student is connected in that way, all you have to do is either connect with your case manager at the school, who should have our information. But if not, you can connect directly with me, and Beth has my information as well. And you can say, hey, I saw you on Facebook, or I saw you in the live stream at Zoom. Can I connect my student? And I will lead you to whoever is covering that system. I have currently 9 counselors out of 11 positions filled. We're working on filling those 2 other positions. So we cover the entire state of Connecticut. So each counselor covers anywhere from 25 to 30 school systems, and it's by town. So, Hartford, Burlington, West Hartford, all the way, any town and the schools within that town. Usually the bigger school systems, although we've started to tap into private schools as well, depending on the need as they call us. Now, because COVID has occurred, we've been telecommuting since like March 13th currently. We have converted all, if not most of our services to virtual services, and I can tell you what those are in a little bit. So the good part about that is that it's condensed our traveling. We used to travel from school system to school systems, sometimes on the road for an hour and a half, getting from school A to school B. So that sort of has condensed our schedule so that we can visit multiple schools in one day, in one sitting, perhaps. And we're currently still busy. It's our busiest time of the year. You would think not, but we are busy promoting our summer work experiences right now. And it's like I said, the busiest time of the time of year for us, and placing young adults in some type of work experience where they get paid minimum wage to try out work and see what it's like to be there. And we do offer assistance through job coaching or support, on-site supports, okay? So services, there's like 5 required services that we do. And when I say required services, that's by law on our end. Your students can participate in any of those services if they are referred. The referral comes through the school. And usually we're done in groups. Since going remote, we have turned services from group to individual, depending. We can still do a group if a school is meeting virtually with a classroom and the students are already engaged with us. We can absolutely hold the group. So don't think we can't do the group. But because we know that's probably harder, most services are individual. So we used to have a must be a group thing. Now it's individual. So it could be one-on-one with a level up counselor or one of the CRPs that we work with, which is a community rehab provider that we hire to assist us in providing the services. So services can include, the biggest one, summer work-based experiences. Right now, we're doing that. If you have a connected student, you have probably been already outreached to. Every summer it changes a little bit. So what I tell you for this summer will probably change for next summer. That has just been what we do every summer. We've increased the hours this summer to hours of wages. So that means a student can work up to 80 hours for the summer, get paid $11. I think it's minimum wage right now. Get up to 40 hours of support within that job. It can be more if the need arises and has to be approved by me, but it can happen. And those are in the community right now with some possibility of virtual jobs. Those haven't come along as much as we wanted them to, but we have CRPs working on it. Again, the community rehab providers, and we have employment consultants, which work for the Bureau, reaching out to employers to see if we have virtual available for the students to partake in. So that summer work-based experience, you'll hear that's the lingo for that. And it's currently available and we're still taking in students to participate in that with the hope that the employers stay open, that our community rehab providers continue to provide and help us doing that, okay? Other services include job shadowing, informational interviews, resume writing, interview prep, job clubs, career exploration, self-advocacy, workplace readiness. Were all services most of them were pre-COVID and have turned virtual at this time for us to be able to provide those to any student who's engaged with us and in our system can be provided virtually. So those are the services. That's more than 5, but they all fall within a pocket of 5 services that we are required to provide for this age population at this time. There's no eligibility criteria. You're not eligible. What should be understood is you don't have to be eligible to participate in Level Up. What you have to do is be engaged in IEP or 504. Eligibility comes into play if your student decides to apply to adult services, which your Level Up counselor can assist with when your student is ready to exit school and go into adult services. But it is not it's not just a natural transfer. It's an application process. We will, and we can walk you through that process. And that's why part of the reason we're engaged is to talk you through that process so that the student can go ahead and engage in adult services and what it takes to be eligible on that side of the table. But we all work within the same offices as our adult service providers. It is the same agency. It's just 2 distinct programs, and being part of one doesn't eliminate the other, but services usually don't occur at the same time. So we can walk you through what it means to be a Level Up student and what it means to be an adult service consumer, okay? But I think that's the basis of Level Up. If you guys have questions, you probably do. I don't know. It's hard to just talk at the screen without feedback. And I talk fast sometimes, so I apologize. if I'm talking too fast.
You're fine. So one
Okay.
question that came up, I know it is always a little weird, you're talking to yourself kind of thing.
Yeah.
So one question that came up is it says, my child is in 11th grade. Can she sign up now? If so, how?
Okay. So yes, an 11th grader absolutely can sign up. To sign up, you would probably either, I'm not sure, Beth, if you can send out just my email, my information, my phone number, contact me. I don't know how many schools are in session. I know several are doing summer school, but that doesn't mean our contact for the school is working currently. So your best way to connect your student would be through me, and I can guide either when you send me an email, I can guide you, give me as much information as possible. What school system, where do you live? And we do understand that some students are outplaced. You might live in Groton, but go to school in West Hartford. Most likely you will get a Groton-based counselor, or where that student's going to be spending most of their time. So we take that into all consideration. Seeing that we're remote, it's not a huge deal these days because everything can be provided right from where we're sitting. So it's not going to be, before we used to have to think really closely to which counselor covers what area because of the distance of travel. Currently, until further notice, there's no distance to travel. So any counselor can cover the case, but I'm being mindful of where the student lives.
Great, that's great. I did put your email in the chat and in the comments on Facebook Live. What's your telephone number? I can put that in as well for people.
Yep, it's 860-256-9538. That's a cell phone. It's a work cell phone number. They can text that number. They just need to identify themselves. Sometimes I get, hey, hi, and I have no idea. It's harder, but I can respond. I'll respond to what I get and ask you to identify yourself.
All right, so I'm going to put that in the chat. And then if anybody has any questions, any other questions, if you want to either type them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask Ruth.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Leanne, and I do have a question, and I joined like 5 minutes late, so I apologize up front for being late and if you already answered the question. But so my daughter is the Trumbull Public Schools 18 to 21 program, and Sean Kennedy works with the group there. Right now we've gotten some plans from the Trumbull Public Schools regarding going back to school in the fall, and probably every other district, we have 3 different scenarios: all in school, a hybrid, and all remote. I just would like to understand, I mean, I'm assuming that Sean is certainly working with Robin and John and the staff there as he always has.
Yes. Yes.
And they're working on their programming and so forth. And moving forward, it would be Jenna's 2 teachers who are communicating with her and the group about what they're going to do with Sean, or thinking about it correctly. Yes.
So Sean is very busy. Actually, he's busier counselors, but as we all are, trying to understand what school systems are going to be doing in the fall. We will have communication going out late August, first week of September. We're trying not to bother the schools because we like to augment what schools are doing. So they have to see the value in having us involved. It's not mandatory to have us involved. So that's, so we have to sort of be nice, and we are usually very nice and try to engage with the schools. So in any way, shape, or form that you feel that the schools might not be engaging in the way that you want them to engage, you can absolutely call Sean and say, hey, Sean, this is the change my daughter has had with, if there's a teacher change, we know that happens a lot, and even more so now where teachers change schools and they go, to the lower level grades, or they go to a different school system. So we're going to start finding that out, I'm sure, in September as we make contact. But we do make contact every year. We do referral protocols, which lays down the law of here's how to refer, and gives us a contact person. Sean's been involved, I believe, the whole 5 years that we've been in existence just for Level Up. He was a counselor prior to that. But yes, we will engage at whatever level the school allows us to. At this point, we're assuming they're not going to let us come into the school systems. But to be honest, I don't think the governor for our program, or for the state, has to be able to engage in person anyways. So it's really an day-to-day situation where we will continue to be remote. All our services, I don't know if you heard it or not, but all our services have been turned remote at this time and can be provided, through this time, or we use Teams in the state of, in our program to continue to engage. At any point where we can do on-site stuff, we will, as long as it's clear to do so, kind of like our summer work experiences at this time. We have, I think, over 200 kids referred currently, and are working to provide them with a work experience this summer.
You mean 2021 summer, or now in 2020?
2020. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do a summer program every summer.
Right. Right.
So this summer we thought we weren't going to do one because we were watching, like everybody else, what it was going to do, or were we going to reopen, and they let us start referring, and a lot of employers opened up and needed assistance, so we started to talk about our program, and we went from 0 to 200 in like 3 weeks. So parents want their students out, and I don't mean out in a bad way, but we've been home and doing all sorts of different things, and now a lot of parents have called and say, yes, please get my student out of the house, even for whatever time period it is. They want it. So we're trying to fulfill that. And I'm talking to my counselors every day. I talk to them, but to track where the students are, how many were referred, how many are moving, how many have been oriented, how many have a placement. And so in the West, where you're calling from the West, it's very good movement of all the students that have been referred thus far. So that's really good, good data that I'm getting from the West.
Okay. And my daughter Jenna was, she was going to participate in the camp, the BRS camp this summer, but that got canceled.
Yep.
So, do you know, like, if I have to reapply for next year, or, I mean, I know that's so far down the line now, but.
I think that, most likely, I don't know if the reapplication will fall. It depends how much information you put in. Nobody had been accepted yet to Level Up Camp when they decided to cancel it. So in that sense, everybody would probably have to reapply. The form you might be able to use again, but there was a physical part of it, having an updated physical that would probably still have to be updated. But we haven't had any direction as to what they're going to, what it's going to look like. I know, like, we had youth leadership forum is something that we do out of UConn. And they're going remote, and we're meeting, I think, next week to see what they're willing to offer as a remote option. For the YLF.
The UConn one for 2020. Okay.
No, they're probably gonna start now. What the trend in moving, or the trend moving forward, what it looks like is because it's remote, that they're going to offer sessions throughout the school year. I don't think they're going to get in for summer because it's the end of July right now and August is around the corner, and I'm not sure we can get that. I don't know. They're going to propose it next week, but it looks like they're, you know, let's say September, October, they'll have a session in October, one in November, one in December, and move it in that sense. For
Yeah,
Right, and
I'm on the board for youth leadership. So
Oh,
yeah.
there you go.
That's what we were supposed to be at UConn this week, right now. We're supposed to be at UConn, so it's really sad. But yes, it's we're working on doing some sessions for that. You know, hoping, and we're working with BRS on that because I know that you all have some online pieces that are happening as well, perhaps. I was going to ask you about that actually, whether you know, there were some programs that were possible.
Then I guess I have to stay really in touch with Sean because like on the youth leadership program, when it was what it was, you know, a weekend or whatever at stores in July, Jenna and Sean and I and her teachers were targeting that event for her for next summer.
Okay.
And, you know, we targeted the camp for this summer. But now hearing how, you know, everything has changed and you may be doing these, or you are going to do these sessions remotely, I need to stay in touch with Sean and the information on the forum because I don't think Jenna's ready for it now, but if it's all going to be remote, I want to make sure that we don't miss any deadlines and we understand what the new program looks like, I guess. So, am I correct in thinking then it is Sean who's going to keep us informed, right?
Correct. Okay. And Beth, I'm sure will give you information as it becomes live and in action for at least the YLF. And I believe Beth links any information that she gets from us and she can link it to her website. So, but absolutely your best bet is always go to the source, which at this point will be for your daughter. And he gets it hot off the presses from me. And I, you know, I send it out to all my, well, I'm in transition. I still cover, well, I'm trying not to cover about 25 school systems in the North. So I consider myself right in the midst of all this and connecting with my teachers and things of that nature. So I'm all in it. And as it comes out, and it's very fluid. So just remember, you know, if you haven't heard from Sean, send them the email or, you know, call whatever and say, hey, Sean, just wondering what's up. And I'm sure he'll be on.
Yeah, we're sort of the same with youth leadership. You know, we try not to go that far in the future because, but it's hard not to think about next year. And we are meeting just about monthly, sometimes a little bit more, not only to plan for what we're going to do now, but what might, you know, a week long or some sort of like a more conference style online session do. You know, it's never going to be the same as having the students have that experience in person, you know, staying overnight, sleeping in the dorms, you know, all of that fun stuff. And we're really sad that all of that is not going to happen this year. But at the same time, there are things that we, you know, skills that we help students to build and, you know, awareness about disability, how to advocate for yourself. You know, it's very aligned with Level Up because we like to sort of be an extension and support that as well. So, you know, definitely keep checking in our website, our Facebook page. We'll have that information. I know Sean keeps himself really up to date on everything. So
do you have the website for the Youth Leadership Forum that you could just rattle off to me? Yeah,
it's CTYLP or F. Hold on. I always say the wrong thing. It must be CT. Sorry.
Okay,
Now I can't connect. I'll find it for you and I'll put it in the
Okay.
chat, or I'll let you know.
Okay.
Also, I think, Charlene, did you have a question? I know somebody was talking at the same time Leanne started. Oh, she maybe froze. All right. We can
I
come-
was going to ask a question.
Phyllis, you had a question. Okay, go ahead, Phyllis.
Yes. My daughter's PPT was due in March when the school closed down, and I asked for a virtual meeting, and they kind of like pushed it to the side and said, let's just go on to ESY. So I really never had the meeting to talk about transition. This is why I was asking about level up, because another parent mentioned it to me, not the school. So that's why I'm trying to find out, what am I supposed to do?
Again, so what you want to do to connect your student, if she hasn't or he hasn't been connected yet, which it sounds like you were, you were hoping to do it in that March meeting or sometime at the end of the school year, is connect with me, email or text me, call me, and I can, depending on where you live and what school your student attends, I can tell you what counselor to connect with. We can send you out the forms via email. And it's not a lot of forms to fill out. It's a 2-pager. We will need a social security number. We will need a couple releases of information to be signed, giving us permission to talk with the school system and with the CRPs that we hire to help place your students. So that's, 4 forms altogether, pretty much, that to get you into the system. We will request records. Understandably right now, some schools are connected. They can give them to us. If not, we'll wait to the fall, but it's not going to stop the service if we need to start one now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anybody else have any questions? Other questions? You can just unmute yourself.
I have a quick question. My son is going to be a senior this year in high school. And last year, or this past school year in February, we did fill out paperwork for Level Up. But once we went to distance learning, the school system kind of said all summer programs were going to be either canceled or postponed. So we didn't, I don't even know if they actually filed anything. But I was wondering if he's a senior and like next summer he'll graduate and he's still do like a Level Up program, because he's probably going to go on to college, but probably start off like part-time classes. I don't think he'll be able to do full-time right off the bat. So I was wondering if he could do kind of a work program and some classes at the same time.
Yes. So we do offer this. Well, I didn't mention it, but I'm sorry, guys. We do the work-based experience over the school year.
Oh, okay.
But it'll look like, because it gets defined each year. So our school is October 1st for us through September 30th. So September 30th will end all our summer work experiences. And then the new budget comes out, the new budget is there and we start using that. So anything that starts in October would be school-based. In the past, it's less hours than over the summer because they're in school. I don't know if that's going to be the same this school year or not. We haven't identified how many hours or support hours, but we can offer a work experience at this time during the school year. It would be after school weekends. If the student has a split schedule where they have free time and they can work, then we can look at that as well. But academics would be primary usually, and then we fill it in with work or any of our other services. He might do good with a resume service, an interview prep, work readiness, self-advocacy, especially going to college. We do have counseling for post-secondary. That's done by a counselor, and we're talking to them about college and what it's like and how to prepare, and have you connected with disability services and things of that nature. So absolutely, any student who's still in school can engage and hopefully find something good about Level Up and the services we provide to assist in that transition from being, supported in school to possibly no support when they get their diploma.
Okay, thank you.
That's how to get that support, right?
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was muted. Anybody else have any questions? So I had heard, Ruth, something about some programs that would be used for training for students, and I don't know whether that's something that's happening now with regard to self-advocacy skills, more the online learning. Is that?
Well, we have what Conover possibly, maybe, I'm not sure if that's what you heard, and it's not, Conover is a work readiness program that we purchased, and there's modules, and the counselor, at this point, it's counselor led. We are looking to have it be community rehab provider led, CRP led, or CERC, which is State Education Resource Center. We are partnering with CERC, and we just got the contract signed. We have 11 staff coming on to help Level Up outreach and provide services. So right now we're looking at them or CRPs to be able to engage students in that way and start providing these modules for them. But it's not, I'm not sure, it's not training, it's considered career exploration, workplace readiness type of training. Any other training is adult services. Any of the, I don't know if you know about the adult service trainings, but the industry specific ISTPs and industry specific training modules are specific to adult services. Mm-hmm. And if a student feels ready to engage in that and has the time, because some of those are full-time trainings, we could talk about that. A student doesn't have to stay with us in Level Up. They can exit Level Up and apply for adult services and get adult services. But you can't do both. You can't say, I want adult services, but I want that Level Up service. It's just something we can, double up on. But we can talk about, about it if you feel your students is better served on our adult side and what that means.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if that sort of training was counselor based at this point or not. So.
Yeah, not yet. Not those anyways, but
yeah,
be creative.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? I put the Level Up link to the Level Up section of the website in the chat as well, and I'll add that to Facebook as soon as I can. And people can go there, and all of your information is in the chat, so people can reach out to you if they have further questions.
Thank you.
One last call for questions. I'll just double check Facebook. Looks like we're good.
Yes, I just want to ask one more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the difference between Level Up and an adult programs are the adult programs are more advanced, and the Level Up are trying to train you to get to the adult program.
Yeah. So Level Up is pre-employment skills training, and it's talking about getting ready for work. Adult services through BRS, which is our, the same agency, is more permanent programming for permanent employment, competitive employment, and skills training in that way. We have specific, like I said, industry specific trainings out there. We have on-the-job trainings, internships that are geared towards after somebody has their high school diploma. In some cases, you will need a high school diploma to engage in the programming, but that's set by the employer, not by BRS. So pre-employment is Level Up, getting you into permanent employment, adult services. So anything you do with us here is in preparation for that and getting a feel for it, and behaviors expected, all sorts of things they can try out and participate in to see even from choosing career-wise, what is it they want to do. We can give them exposure, like an informational interview or job shadow, to look and see Not 100% sure adult services can do that. Sometimes I think because we've gone remote, there have been some other services that our adult services is now providing as well. But if you're in school right now and have IDEA coverage, you know, IEP coverage, I use that coverage to the best of my ability, because some of that stuff will not come back. Well, it won't. Nothing will compare to having an IEP in a high school where you have a para, you have transportation, you have a lot of things that aren't going to transfer with you when you accept a high school diploma. And even if you're going to college, some of that stuff will not translate into being in college. So you will need either an adult agency like ours sometimes to assist in that, but it's still not going to be, you know, point for point. If you got this in high school, there's no guarantee you'll get that in college or at work.
Right.
The level up is going to start exposing you to some of that stuff, that self-advocacy, and can you speak up for yourself, and lack of other words, as to what you're going to need as a student in a college, as a worker in a place. Are you going to be able to say, when I was in high school, I used to get extended time. I'm going to need that to be successful in college, or I'm going to need you to write my directions down for me because that's the best way I learn. So we're exposing to that. We're exposing about disability. In disability, we say that, you know, it's a harsh world sometimes. And when they go into adult services, we're looking at disability. Some students have never heard the word, right? They're like, I'm not disabled. So it's going to be their first introduction to that, and what it means. And I'm a big advocate for reading their records, them reading their own records, and saying, you know, is this the person you think you are? Because the record's a record. It's not who you are. Sometimes it could have been who you were 3 years ago. You could have had growth and stuff. So it's a whole learning process that happens, or hopefully could happen, when they engage with Level Up. The sooner the better, to get you prepared for that next step into being an adult, into getting a diploma, or even if you go into an 18 to 21 program, we'll still be there. We can continue services through Level Up, which is it's a good thing, to try and carry it over as long as possible to get you where you feel you need to be. Remembering that all information we give you is information, and then you make a decision. It's informed choice. So we have the knowledge about disability, barriers to employment, you know, what the world out there of work can look like, and things like that. You take that information, and then we give you our best guesstimate of this is what we feel you need. You can take that and run with it with us, or you can say, no, I'm going to go this other way, and that's totally up to you. But our job is to give you the information you'll need, your student will need, to make a good choice moving forward in all aspects of dealing with disability, and how it's going to affect you once you don't have the school support. It's a big one. So the sooner you connect, the better.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you, Ruth. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your wealth of knowledge. I know you've been doing this for a long time, as have I. You were originally a counselor. You weren't.
Yeah, I've been with the Bureau like 20 years.
Wow.
So
Since you were 5.
Yeah, I know. I know. I can't even believe that in itself, but I grew up at BRS, so I feel that way, you know. Here I have my, you know, 20 years ago, totally different person, but it's been the constant is helping people with disabilities. That's been my goal, and that's where I still am. So I'm doing my dream job.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you. So thank you everyone for joining. Again, you have all the links. Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you. Hi, Gary. Gary's been hiding. No camera today. But I know he's been listening.
Okay.
So thank you all. And we have another call on Thursday at 3, a support call. We have a Spanish call tomorrow at 1, also a support call. And next week, I think I'm on next week. I probably should know that. I think I'm on next week at 3, talking about all things transition, general Q&A, and we have some other exciting things coming up. We'll have planning for adults with disabilities. We'll talk about, we have somebody coming in to talk about, I should say, guardianship, conservator, power of attorney, supported decision-making, all of the possibilities that are out there right now to support people with disabilities in being as independent as possible. And I'm sure we have some other exciting things coming up that are just not in the front of my mind right now. So, as you all know, we send them out via social media and email. So keep an eye out. And again, thank you, Ruth. I very much appreciate you being on. And everybody have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.